Good morning, happy Thursday. If you hear background noise, it's probably because it's rain hitting the roof up here. Remember, there's no insulation in except for the walls. We'll blow the insulation in after we get the drywall up, which is coming Friday, tomorrow. I'm really excited. I'm going to ask the people that are delivering it if I can video it for next week's lesson. They're going to. So, quick story. I bought the drywall at Menards, got the 11% off or whatever. I never went and picked it up. I just went online, bought it. Then I figured when I was ready, I can go pick it up. 76 sheets. That's how much I had to buy. And that's with a few extra sheets just in case of mistakes. I would have had to have hauled me and somebody else, because I couldn't do it by myself, 76 sheets through my narrow hallway, like make a corner and then go up the stairs. It would have been miserable. A company out of Saginaw said, yeah, we deliver. We'll put it right in your rooms that you're going to be finishing. I'm like, what now? I mean, first story, I'll do it myself and save a few bucks. For a few bucks more, they are bringing a boom truck tomorrow. They're going to go through with a window that you can't see, and they're going to lay it and stack it up here. I don't have to carry it upstairs. I know it sounds like, well, that's just laziness. Is it? I'm not going to ding my walls. I'm not going to track all that white powder that's going to fall off the outside edges of it in the house. Yeah, it's worth that. We left off on Tuesday. We showed you how to wire up an outlet. We're back at that same exact outlet. If you remember, I told you this was actually for a light and that there was an extra set of 12-2 in there. So this is from our outlet. I've already disconnected it. I left the loops on 2 of them because we'll talk about what we can do with that. And then I've got my other one. So the way this would actually work with an with a switch, and this is what this actually was designed for, is that you have electricity coming in, and that electricity comes from an electrical box down here, an outlet. We feed off of one of the outlets, and then this would be live. This would have no electricity flowing to it. And we're going to put a switch in between them. The idea being that with the switch off, electricity stays at the bottom part of the switch. When you flip the switch up, electricity flows through the switch, therefore into this wire, which will then go into our light that we're going to put up in this room. Or probably more than likely a ceiling fan. With that being said, we're going to wire this up today. So the first thing first, I've already stripped these back. I should have stripped it all the way back to the box, but remember I told you, we're going to pretend like that didn't happen because I'm going to have to re-strip them anyway. So first thing first, put those in there. I'm going to pull up my romex stripper, and I'm going to strip this back. Here's that romex stripper. There's that little tab in there. Here we go. Pull back my wires. And again, if this was actually going to meet code, I'm going to strip it all the way back as far as I can in the box. But for what I'm doing here, we're only going to strip it back a little bit of a ways because I need to save that wire because I'm actually going to have to pass inspection. And this is just for you guys to see. Take my knife, carefully cut all the excess off. We'll tuck that back in like it was never there. Okay, we've got our wires. Now we need to strip them. Find my wire strip. There they are. So we're going to strip our white neutral. Again, just a 1/2 inch strip. Get my ground out of the way, and then take and strip. Come on. A little colder up here today. Oh, there it is. Oop, didn't get all of it. And then strip the black, which is going to be our hot. So the unique thing about a switch is the neutrals don't go through the switch. Remember, our neutrals are technically kind of like a ground. So I'm going to strip off my other neutral too. That was down below. I cut the little hook off of it. And what we're going to do with those 2 neutrals are, we're going to just wire them together. They don't have to go through the switch. Remember, the switch is just controlling our actual electrical. I like to take a pair of needle nose and just give it a little bit of a twist together. And then we're going to take a wire nut, as soon as I remember which pocket I put it in on my tool belt. Found it. And here's a wire nut. I like these ones. They've got wings on them, so it's easier to grab hold of. Some of them are just kind of like serrated. They work, but again, the ones with the wings I really like. And we're just going to twist it on there. That wire nut, inside there is a piece of metal that has threading, and it's going to bite in. And I go all the way until basically I start getting a twist on the outside of my wires, which or it's too difficult. Next, pull on it. Do any of the wires fall out? No. Cool. Get them out of the way. Come back, and just like I said before, the switch is only going to use our hots, our feed, and the one that we're going to be supplying, and then our grounds. The grounds, you got a couple options. You could take, and we'll grab our switch here. Again, trying to remember what pocket I put it in. There it is. Here's our switch. Notice there's only 2 brass screws. Brass is for hot or black, and 1 ground. We could take and put both our grounds on there, or they make special pigtail or wire nuts that have a hole in the top right here that would allow us to twist these together with a 3rd wire and that pigtail coming out. Either one of those have been acceptable. Pretty easy. So let's hook this thing up. My feed goes on the bottom screw, same thing as before. We want to make sure that we put it on there so that it pulls the wire in, so that as I'm tightening it, it's actually pulling the wire in. We're going to do that real quick. So that one's in. Then we'll take our other one that's going to be supplying our fan eventually, our ceiling fan. We'll hook that one up. Okay, so both my hots, my feed, this one will be hot when we actually turn on the electricity. This one will not be hot until I flip the switch. Check your switch too. Make sure that when you have it in the down, it says off. A lot of people wire these backwards and they're like, I don't understand. You just got to switch these around if that's the case. Or maybe you like it where this is off and that's on. But no. All right, for this one, I'm going to go see real quick. Stay on this. I'll be right back. I'm going to see if I actually have one of those. I do. We can do something about it. Grab a piece of wire. We'll do it the pigtailed way real quick. It takes 5 seconds. All right, here's that pigtail I was talking to you about. It has a hole in the end. So McMullen, where are you going to get the piece of wire from? Another piece of romex that I happen to have laying around. Scrap. So here's our piece of romex. I cut open. I'll just grab out the actual bare copper from it. Pliers don't cramp up again. Throw that back in the scrap bin. I recycle all of our wire. It does add up. So that pigtail goes in the inside like that. See how it comes through? And then what I'll do is I'll get rid of our loopies that we cut. Or not cut, oops. That we made. So we just have straight wire. Then, again, I'll put those together the best I can. Then, put that loopy on there and then start twisting. There it goes. And these I actually like to twist a little bit more than I need to, kind of get them out of the way. So there, both grounds are connected into this pigtail, they call it. See, the little piggy tail. And then we'll give it a curl. And then we'll disconnect that. Oop, put that so that when it tightens, it wraps around. And I'm not really fast. If the pros are doing this, they'll be a lot faster than me. And who knows, maybe you're watching this going, holy cow, McMullen, slow down. Okay, that's tightened. This can all be now tucked in there. Again, we're going to wash that ground, and our neutrals are not exposed, but that ground is. I just don't want that ground to make contact with this. So even after I jam all of it or push all of it back in there, just I like to look and see, yep, it's nowhere near it. And then to finish this thing off, I would take, there's 2 screws. They screw right into your box. And then when you're finished, you put a cover plate on it, which then also screws into these 2 holes that are supplied with all switches. And we'd be done. This week for your assignment, I would like you to draw a wiring diagram showing a power source coming in at 110 volts. Show me the show me the romex and them being the 3 wires that goes to a switch. From there, when you turn the switch on, it'll travel to an outlet and power an outlet. McMullen, you didn't explain to how to do this. You're right, I didn't. But powering an outlet is the same as powering a light. There's still 3 wires right there. These 3 wires are going up to that switch, or that are going up to that light. Whether I have a light up there or an outlet, it's the same thing. So how would I do it? Show me in detail. Label your wires so that you tell me, hey, these brass screws on the switch get the black wire. The black wire goes in the brass screws on the outlet. Show me in detail. You can probably Google wiring diagram, how to wire a switch to an outlet on Google. I'm just throwing that out there. You could probably do it, but I would like you to draw that up for me. It's not hard to do, and the reason I'm having you do this is that's actually what we would have done in class, is I would have had you break into groups, and we would have actually taken, and I would have had you physically wire up a switch. We would have plugged it into the outlet to make sure it turns on a light, or actually an outlet that powers the light. So that's what I want you to do. If you got any questions at all on this assignment, go ahead and get a hold of me via Remind. That's probably the best way, or email. Again, if you're stuck, get a hold of me. We can Zoom. We can talk. I'll walk you through it. I'm here to help. Seniors, it's your last week, which is the majority of this class. It was fun while we had you in class. I wish everybody the best of luck. McMullen, what kind of advice are you going to give us? Just work hard. Don't become complacent and lazy in society. Find your niche. Do what you enjoy, but work hard. Good things come to those that are nice and work hard. If you become complacent and lazy and bitter at the world, you're not going to be happy with the end result. Good luck. We'll talk to everybody next week that's still in class.